But Mr. Trump is wrong. The Obama administration did publicly blame Russia for the hacks in early October, a full month before the election. But Christine, other than its statement, it is unclear what, if anything, the U.S. has done to retaliate.
Yeah, is there anything really that the U.S. can do? I mean, what are the options?
Well, the options are sanctions or some sort of offensive cyber attack. But the concern is what happens when you escalate. There's really no precedent here in a lot of ways. So U.S. officials are grappling with, well, what comes next if there is some sort of proportional offensive cyber attack? They just don't know. But we're told that they are weighing sanctions and other options for that matter.
Jeff, you mentioned that President-elect Trump is continuing to push back on these hacking claims by Russia. Is there really anything in dispute, though, here among intelligence agencies? Well,
I think the struggle here, if you look at all 17 agencies, is that can you prove intent? That's the question here. Can investigators prove that there was a deliberate effort on the part of the Russians to tip the scales in Donald Trump's favor? So that's the big question here. I don't think anyone is disputing that the Russians were involved in trying to influence the election.
So as far as the investigation goes, do they think that they have found all of the hacking attempts, or could there possibly be more?
Well, listen, there could possibly be more, because when all of this started, and according to our reporting, it started around June 2015, in that range, and thousands of emails, malicious emails, were sent out to different organizations, government organizations, military organizations, political organizations, and so it is very likely that there were other breaches somewhere along the way. But what we've found with some of these cyber attacks is that sometimes it takes time for officials to know the extent of the damage that has been done. And also, some of these attempts are probing attempts for future cyber actions.
Yeah, this could very well just be the surface for all we know at this point. I would like to address the Yahoo hack earlier this week. 1 billion accounts affected here. A U.S. official says that a state actor was involved and that law enforcement believes Russia is a primary suspect. What do you know more about this?
Well, yeah, this is one of those attacks where, because of the scale here, the amount of user accounts that were involved, immediately investigators are zeroing in on a state-sponsored attack, and of course Russia pops to the top of the list here. But it's still early in that investigation as well. But it just shows you what companies in this country and public institutions are dealing with. We've been told that on a daily basis there are these cyber attack attempts. So it just shows you the scale of the problems when you're working in a business, where you're working in government, that these cyber attacks really pose.
Why Yahoo, though, Jeff?
It's a good question. It's a good question, and I'm sure investigators are trying to determine a motive. But in this case, in cases like this, they're going after passwords, user accounts. In some cases, and we don't know yet with this one, because it's still early in the investigation, and we're still trying to get as much information as possible from investigators. But sometimes it's probing for information, probing for weaknesses in systems, probing for identifying information that may be a key to getting into some other system somewhere else.
All right, very complicated, but so important to dig into. Jeff Begay in Washington for us. Thank you, Jeff.